All right, let's talk about getting your business unstuck. If you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, working harder and harder, but not really getting anywhere, then this is for you. We're going to break down a really powerful system for some serious business growth, all based on the ideas in Sell Like Crazy.
So first things first, let's do a little diagnosis, right? I want you to be really honest with yourself as we go through these. See if any of these symptoms sound, well, a little too familiar for your business.
Because look, these are the kinds of things that drive business owners crazy. It's that feeling that you're not alone in this. It's a super common struggle. So, are you wondering where your next client is going to come from? Are you completely overwhelmed with all the little tasks that don't actually make money? Or maybe you're stuck in that awful feast or famine cycle. And what about this one? Seeing competitors with, let's be honest, worse products just crushing it. Or maybe you're just trading way too much time for way too little money. If you found yourself nodding along to, well, any of those, you're definitely not alone. But here's the kicker. The real reason this is happening isn't what you probably think it is. It's not about working harder, and believe it or not, it's not even about having a better product. And this quote right here, it just nails it. The market doesn't pay you to have the best products or service. It rewards you for solving problems. You see, it's not about just having the best thing. Success, real success, comes from how good you are at actually solving a customer's problem and, crucially, letting them know you can solve it. That's where the money is.
Okay, so if it's not the product, then what in the world is it? Well, the real enemy, it's not out there, it's in here. It's an internal battle that holds almost everyone back.
And we're talking about what's called the little gremlin. You know that voice, right? It's that little whisper in your head that's always coming up with excuses, with justifications, pulling you away from the stuff you know you should be doing. It's a constant fight between doing what's easy right now versus what will actually grow your business.
I mean, who hasn't heard this one? Just hit snooze and take another 10 minutes. You need it. You deserve it. That is the little gremlin in its purest form. It's so tempting. It feels harmless, but that little voice is sabotaging your bigger goals.
And here's how that same gremlin shows up at the office. And hey, if they're really interested in buying, they'll call you. Oh man, that one is a killer. It's the little excuse that stops you from making that follow-up call. The inaction that literally costs you money. Learning to shut that voice down, that's the first real step to getting ahead.
All right, so let's say you've told that gremlin to take a hike. Now what? Where do you put your energy? Well, get ready for a huge aha moment, because we're about to pull back the curtain on a massive, hidden opportunity, a genuine gold mine that almost all of your competitors are totally blind to.
Okay, look at this. This is called the pyramid of buyers, and it represents pretty much any market out there. Now get this, only 3% of people are in buying now mode. Just 3%. But that tiny, tiny slice is where everyone is fighting. It's a total dogfight. Meanwhile, you've got another 17% gathering info, 20% who are just realizing they have a problem, and a whopping 60% who don't even know they have a problem yet. You add all that up, and you get 97%. That is your real market. It's not a lost cause. It's a gold mine waiting for you. And the whole secret, the key to absolutely explosive growth, is to stop fighting over the 3% and start building a system that speaks to this giant untapped 97%. So the big question is, how do you actually do that? How do you capture that 97%? Well, it's not about luck. It's about having a system, a repeatable, reliable system. So let's get into it. It's basically a 4-part system. First, you've got to attract them. Then you educate them about their problem and your solution. Step 3 is all about nurturing that relationship and building real trust. And only after all that do you get them to act and make a purchase. See the shift? You're not just screaming buy now at everyone, you're building a journey that guides people from unaware all the way to ready to buy. But, and this is so important, none of that other stuff works without this first piece, the Halo strategy. Think of this as your foundation. It's all about getting so deep inside your customer's head that you understand their fears, their hopes, their biggest dreams. You need to know what conversation is already going on in their mind. You become an expert on them. You learn what keeps them up at night. It all comes down to this incredible quote. Enter the conversation already taking place in the customer's mind. When you do that, your marketing stops feeling like an annoying ad and starts feeling like, well, like you're reading their mind. It's like you're finishing their sentences. And when you get that right, everything else in the system becomes a million times easier.
Okay, we're almost there. You understand your customer, you've got their attention, you've built trust. Now it's time for the final, critical piece of the puzzle, crafting an offer that is just absolutely irresistible. We're talking about an offer so good they'd feel silly saying no.
And a huge part of that comes down to understanding this classic mistake. People sell features, but customers buy benefits. A feature is what your product is. A benefit is what your product does for them. Nobody cares about the technical specs. They care about the result, the feeling, the solution to their problem. It's the whole people don't want a drill, they want a whole thing. That's the benefit.
So how do you actually create an offer like this? It's a three-step process. First, you dream. Pretend you have a magic wand. What is the absolute best, most insane offer you could make? No limits. Then you dial it back just a little bit to something you can actually deliver. And finally, and this is key, you think of every single reason someone might say no, and you solve that objection before they can even think of it. You build it right into the offer.
Because at the end of the day, a compelling offer is infinitely more powerful than a convincing argument. You see, a great offer pulls people in. You don't have to push them with hard sell tactics. It's designed to be a no-brainer, removing all the risk and making it easy for them to say yes.
And really, that brings us right back to the most important question of all. Everything we've covered, the gremlin, the 97% gold mine, the system, the irresistible offer, it all boils down to this one thing. What conversation is already happening in your customer's mind? If you can answer that, truly answer it, you hold the keys to the kingdom. So stop worrying so much about what your competitors are doing and start getting obsessed with that conversation. That's where the real growth is.